Hi, I'm here with Mustafa today. Mustafa is one of the top performers in our job simulations. He recently got a job at Investorweb. So, welcome, Mustafa.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. Let's jump right in. What is your role right now, and what do you do?
Uh, I'm a front end developer at Investorweb. Um, I work with the Next.js, Zustand, and other libraries to build an investor relation management platform. Uh, I'm really pleased with the job and like the technologies that we use.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. Quite a tech stack there. I'm wondering, what situation were you in before Digit?
I had recently uh, graduated from a 2-year degree at a private school.
Hmm.
I'm not going to try to explain what the degree is, but it was a front-end developer degree,
Right.
specific. And yeah, I started applying to jobs just before.
Right. And can you describe the situation maybe a little bit more? Like, how was the experience of job hunting? How did you feel along the way?
It was a bit demoralizing, in my opinion, because I spent a lot of time on each application, and on
Hmm.
most application there was a automatic declination.
Yeah,
No, declined automatically from a bot or
yeah,
something.
exactly.
And I spent a lot of time on my application, so I didn't feel it was fair to me.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I think this is something that many people experience. Like, they send out a bunch of applications. It takes a long time to read through all the job ads. It takes a long time to send out the applications, and then sometimes you get ghosted. And other times you get like a short, generic rejection email. It's like
yeah,
really.
especially if you craft each application
Hmm.
for each job, then you're spending a lot of time. So you deserve more than like a 2 minute or whatever they spend on your application,
Yeah,
especially if you're qualified for the job.
yeah, absolutely. It's quite ridiculous. Um, but okay, let's dive maybe a little bit more into the approaches that you were using. So, what approaches were you making use of as you were trying to get that job before you tried to get?
Mainly just keeping track of jobs that I was felt qualified for on fin.no. I didn't do anything
Hmm.
special.
Right.
That's the thing.
So the kind of standard Norwegian job board, and then
Yeah,
just following the process. That was
yeah,
there. Yeah.
that's
Right.
it.
Makes sense. Regarding that kind of process, what was the main pains or frustrations or challenges that you experienced as you were going through it?
Having to decide, like, find what's interesting in each job posting. Like they write a lot of um, not very important stuff on there,
Mm.
not very relevant stuff, and you have to like sift through it and see what is this job for me or not.
Yeah, right.
Essentially,
It's a lot of, I guess, sales terms as well. Like, gets a bit confusing.
yeah. I just want to know like what, especially um, how much experience do you want someone to have? First of all, that's the first thing I
Mm.
look up for, because
Mm.
when you're a new grad, you if it says like 3 years or something like that, I don't want to apply. So I
Mm.
don't. I want that information as soon as possible.
Yeah, like be able to
And
filter quickly, kind of.
yeah, and also what kind of position, what technology are you going to work at,
Mm.
or yeah, what technologies do they prefer?
Right.
That's very important to me. So that's something I try to find, but it's usually jumbled within a lot of other stuff. So you have to,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like this wall of text that hits you, and then you're like kind of looking for these specific things, but can't really find them easily.
yeah. And often the
Mm.
job title does not is not related to what you actually do.
Yeah.
Uh, that is also a bit problematic, but it depends, like, on the company.
Yeah.
Some are good, easy
Oh yeah.
to sift through. It really depends on who's crafting the job posts.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like some are quite good and others are like quite horrible. And there's a lot of in between.
And also the lack of jobs for new grads was something that I was very worried about.
Oh, yeah,
I
right.
have been worried about since I started my journey. Like,
Hmm.
it's very difficult to find a position for a new grad.
Yeah, yeah,
And I was
exactly.
always worried about, is it possible to get into the field without experience when almost every job requires experience?
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel like that actually is like especially as the kind of competition gets a bit steeper, and the main way to filter people becomes then years of experience, as that's kind of the proxy that companies use. It becomes like unreasonably difficult for developers that don't have that experience yet, even though they're
Yeah,
really good, many of them.
I think there is um, other ways that they recruit for these positions, new grads, not on
Hmm.
Fin.no, that I'm not
Right.
aware of or was not aware of.
Yeah, kind of the hidden market.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because otherwise, it would have, like, been too many unemployed new grads.
Yeah. Yeah, of
So they
course.
are
Like they
finding
must
jobs.
find a way somehow.
But yeah, it is really difficult as a new grad to find any positions to apply to
Yeah,
that
yeah,
does not
absolutely.
feel like way over your qualifications.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel like that, and especially when you have this like huge laundry list of skills and tools, and some people have said like feels like it's they're hiring an IT department, not like a single developer at times.
Yeah, and I try to, like, double down on it, try to, like, uh, learn everything, but it's not
Hmm.
possible. I have come to realize now that it's
I mean, you've
better to
done
be
pretty
good at
well
something.
though. Like you learned a lot of these things that they put on these like wish lists.
Yeah, but not everything, and I was still not confident when I was applying to jobs
Right. Not confident in what way?
in my abilities. If I was good enough, is if I had enough, knew enough, did know enough technologies, a lot of stuff. I was not
Right, right.
confident. Um, yeah, uh, not very confident, at least.
Yeah, I think that's actually something that many people struggle with. There's this like the term imposter syndrome. I think a lot of people that are very new and don't have a lot of reference points easily fall into that. And I mean, it's understandable because you're worried. What if I'm not enough? And I mean, maybe we can jump a little bit forward then. So, how did you find DIGGIT? How did you discover us?
I found it through a job posting that you collaborated with. I think it was Innovation Norway,
Right.
that I saw that it was in collaboration with you,
Hmm.
and I looked at your website and found it interesting. So I contacted, um, or I went into the Discord channel and spoke a little bit with one of your colleagues,
Awesome. Awesome.
and
Yeah.
we ended up meeting and speaking together. Yeah, speaking.
Yeah, that's great. I think a lot of people found us through Innovation Norway. That was a really wonderful collaboration that we had, and we're very grateful for the support that we got from them, and got to develop our product together with them. And it's really nice to hear that we reached out to people like you, and found people like you. And but you were a little bit early, right? Like you were still studying at that time.
Yeah, it was 1 year before I was going to graduate, and I met with your colleague Jürgen. We spoke a little
Mm,
bit. He wanted me to do the one of the challenges, but I was not confident in myself at the time, and also
right.
we had a lot to do in school, so I
Mm,
wanted to wait after graduation.
yeah.
So immediately after graduation, I did the full stack challenge.
Awesome. Yeah. So, um, Like, so, like, were you already convinced, like, at this point in time, like 1 year before you ended up taking the job simulation, were you already convinced that, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, or was it a moment in time where you figured out, okay, yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot?
No, I had already promised Jürgen that I would do it, and
All right.
so I had to do it because um,
Integrity, huh?
yeah, and
Mm.
also for me it was a good value proposition. I had
All right.
because I hate like interviews and technical interviews and stuff like that. I was
Yeah.
in one that where I had a brain meltdown, and they
Oh.
thought like I was a horrible developer. But
Oh
the thing is,
no.
I was so nervous that I couldn't do anything. I
Oh
couldn't.
yeah.
My brain wouldn't function. So it was ideal for me to do one technical challenge,
Mm.
sort of, and have it apply to many positions. It
Yeah.
was
All right.
like a win-win situation for me, at least. I looked at it at a win-win situation. You do a
Mm.
challenge. If you do well enough, you get to go to many interviews, and you don't need to spend time applying. There are many advantages, in my opinion, in this
All right.
approach.
All right. Oh, that's really great to hear. I'm really sorry about that experience you had in
No,
the
no, it's
technical
normal.
interview.
Like, it was my first interview, and they told me 5 minutes after I applied, we would like to speak to you tomorrow. So I had no time to prepare, and I had not
Wow.
coded for a while since my I was burnt out after school. I had studied so much, so
I'm
I
sorry to
took
hear that.
a small break. No, it's normal. It was my own fault. But
Mm.
yeah, things were, and they specifically had a challenge where something I had not done in a year also.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I couldn't remember.
Maximum
So
unlucky, yeah.
yes, so my brain went into full meltdown modus. But it's a good learning experience,
Mm.
uh, and it helped me prepare for the next interview also.
Yeah. It's good that you could take away some growth from it. I think that's a good mindset to have. And I think a lot of people experience this actually, like unreasonably stressful. How it's just extremely high stake
Yeah,
time, right?
yeah,
And we know biologically, like we react to that in different ways, and especially if you have a lot of stress that you already had with school and stuff on top of all of that, is
yeah.
that's horrible. But
Potential,
yeah,
potentially, it's your future at stake, right?
yeah,
When you're at interviews. So what you're
yeah.
saying really is true.
Okay, so that's kind of the background. I think we have pretty good clarity on that and the events that led up to you trying out Digit. I'm just wondering, what was the first positive moment that you had with Digit, and when was that?
It was when I met Jürgen, and he was very humble and
All right.
very like easy to speak to.
Mm,
Um, so I really like that. I believe that people should be humble. That's my opinion.
mm,
Not everyone likes
yeah.
that, but yeah. So I felt that like the people behind the Digit had good values when I met him,
Oh, that's
and
nice to
that
hear.
was a very positive experience for me.
Yeah, I mean, Jürgen is he's just such a amazing character. Like he has such an aura of positivity around him, and yeah, I mean, I'm super happy to hear that that was the impression that you got from meeting him. All right, so that's the first positive moment. Super nice. And then next, what tangible results have you gotten after you decided to give Ticket a try?
I got a job, so that was very tangible results. Like
Yeah, number
it
one.
couldn't be better. It was the goal of the entire thing was to get a job, and I
Yeah,
got the job offer.
yeah.
Um, I don't know what more I can say. Like,
No, no, that's great. I mean, job is that's life changing, a life changing moment right there. So, um, awesome. Uh, and we are of course super happy for you when it happened. Like, we're totally celebrating internally as well. Okay, so what would you say to others reading or watching this right now? So it's going to be in text as well, um, who are in the same situation as you were in. What would you say to them?
I would say that you are good enough, uh, and you just need to persevere if you're in a tough situation. I don't know. Everyone is different, but um, you need to be a little bit. Don't do like go the hard route like I did with applying to a lot of jobs. Try to be creative with the way you find jobs, like using a service like DIGGIT or uh, yeah, uh, some other way of creative job hunting,
All right.
and try to stand out a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. Like, there's this whole hidden market of opportunities that people usually don't know about, and the standard approach can be it can be really freaking tough, especially right now. In the state of hiring right now is crazy.
And
All right.
also, I have
Mhm.
noticed one thing:
Yeah.
if you are qualified to do the job, in my opinion, it matters most how much the people that are interviewing you likes you more than
Mm,
how much more qualified you are than the other person.
right.
So it really depends on how good your soft skills are. Also, you need
Right.
to sharpen those, be able to not be too nervous on interviews, and
Mm,
get to know people, um, and really show who you are on
right.
interviews.
So it don't just focus on your hard skills, but focus on those key soft skills that are gonna matter as well.
Yeah, because in a real life job, like 95% of what you do, at least me now, is like
Mm,
things that are routine tasks.
mm,
And maybe let's say between somewhere between 10 and 20%, let's say 80 to 90% is that is
mm,
difficult tasks where you have to really, really think, um, especially after a while when you get used to it. So
mm.
you don't need to be the absolute best performer at the test or at school or anything to do the job.
Right. I think that's actually really good advice and something that people should really take to heart and explore. Mustafa, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you. It was a
And
pleasure.
yeah, I wish you a great day, and we'll stay in touch.
You too. Have a nice day. Bye.
All right, bye.